Now in this video, you will be learning about dependence of rate on concentration. Now when the time t is equal to 0, we have seen that there is maximum concentration of the reactants. So here at the origin point, that is 0 point, when you see the concentration will lie on the y-axis because that time the reaction has not started. You have maximum concentration of the reactants and those reactants will come at the top of the y-axis. Now as you start the reaction, you will see that the initial rate of the reactions are very high. That is because when the concentrations are very high, when the concentration of molecules are quite large, there are more chances of having collision. So high concentration has more collision. So more collision means the rate of the reactions are higher. So as you observe the graph, you will see that at the top the concentration is higher. So due to that high concentration, the rate is higher. But as the reaction proceeds, as you see that the time passes by on the x-axis, you see that the rate is going downwards. So the next rate is below the first one. Okay, so that is decreasing because as the reaction proceeds, you see that there are less concentration of the reactant molecules. So when the molecules becomes less, the amount of collision taking place in the reaction also becomes less. So due to less collision, the rate of the reaction decreases. Now let us understand this with an example. So I've taken the example of rate of burning of wood. Now, when a small piece of wood is burnt in air, it burns very slowly because air contains only 20% of oxygen. So, the concentration of oxygen which we are supplying here for combustion is only 20%. Now, when the same piece of wood is burnt in 100% of oxygen, it burns very rapidly. You can observe and compare the intensity. So, you will find that when we supply more amount of oxygen, the rate at which the combustion is taking place is very high. And in the first case, since the amount which we have supplied is only 20%, the rate of combustion is also very slow. So this gives you a clear picture that rate depends on concentration. So if you supply more amount of reactant, the rate will be higher. And when the concentration of the reactant supplied is less, the rate is also less. So we can say that rate totally depends on the concentration. So we can say rate is directly proportional to the concentration of the reactant. So therefore, a relationship between rate of the reaction and the concentration of the reacting species was given by Guldberg and Weg, which is known as law of mass action. So they said that if you have a reactant molecules A and B reacting together to give you product, then rate is directly proportional to the product of molar concentration of these two reactants. Okay, so we can write rate is directly proportional to concentration of A into concentration of B. That is product of molar concentration of A and molar concentration of B. Now let's see another example where 3 moles of A reacts with 4 moles of B to give product. So rate is dependent concentration of 3 moles of A and 4 moles of B. So that means it will be concentration of A into A into A and then B into B into B into B. So that means 3 times concentration of A will give you A to the power 3, that is A cube, and B, when you multiply 4 times, you will get B to the power 4. So we can say rate is directly proportional to product of concentration of the reactant, that is A to the power 3 and B to the power 4. So these moles which we have written at the top are nothing but the stoichiometric coefficient which we get from the balanced equation. So rate is directly proportional to the product of molar concentration of the reactant raised to their stoichiometric coefficient. So therefore, law of mass action says that at a given temperature, the rate of the reaction is directly proportional to product of concentration, molar concentration of the reactant raised to their stoichiometric coefficient. So if you have a general equation now where A and B, capital letter A and capital letter B are the reactant and the small letters are the stoichiometric coefficient, you could write the rate as concentration of A to the power A and B to the power B. So here in this equation we find that the concentration of the reacting species are raised to their stoichiometric coefficient. So this expression for the rate is a theoretical based, and it was found true for some of the reactions. But when experimentally the rate of the reaction was determined, for some of the reactions the powers were not equal to the stoichiometric coefficient. So it was not found to be equal. So we make a change and we write the expression as rate directly proportional to concentration of A to the power X and B to the power Y, where this X and Y may be equal to their stoichiometric coefficient or they may not be equal to the stoichiometric coefficient, and it has to be found through experiment. There is no other way that we can find out this X and Y. So these are called as order of the reaction, and the expression is called as rate law or rate law expression or rate equation also we call it. So how can we define this rate law? So rate law can be defined as, using the expression you try to define, it is an expression in which the rate is given in terms of molar concentration of the reactants with each term raised to some power. So these are the power, X and Y are the power, and these power may or may not be equal to their stoichiometric coefficient of the reacting species in a balanced equation. So what you need to understand here is, if a reaction is given, for some of the reactions the rate of the reaction may be equal to their stoichiometric coefficient, and in some of the reactions it may not be equal to their stoichiometric coefficient. So it totally depends on the experiment. So we could remove this proportionality sign and put a constant and write, so rate will be equal to a constant and concentration of A to the power X and B to the power Y. So this expression what we get is called as either rate law or rate equation or rate expression, where we can define all these terms. Each terms can be defined. So I said X and Y are the order of the reaction. So X and Y are the order. X is the order with respect to concentration of A and Y is the order with respect to concentration of B. Now, if you add together X plus Y, the sum of X plus Y will be the overall order of the reaction, and K over here will be the rate constant. Now, this rate constant, for each reaction there is a definite value of K at a particular temperature, but this value can change with the change in the temperature. Okay, it will remain same for a particular reaction, but if you change the temperature, the K value also changes, and it doesn't depend on the concentration of the reaction. So students, you have studied that rate in terms of reactant is difference in the concentration of the reactant with change in the time, and since we have a reactant here, we write with a minus time. So let me consider this as equation number 1. And you have already studied just now that from the rate law expression, rate can be written as product of molar concentration of the reactant raised to some power. Okay, so this is also one way of representing the rate. So let me consider this as equation number 2. Now since rate is equal to difference in the concentration of the reactant with time, and rate is also equal to the product of molar concentration of the reactant raised to some power, so we can equate these both equation. So equating 1 and 2, we can write it down as minus dr by dt is equal to K into A to the power X into B to the power Y. So now this short equation conveys a message saying that the rate of change of concentration over time is equal to the product of molar concentration of the reactant raised to some power. Okay, that means the decrease in the concentration of the reactant with the time is dependent on the concentration of the reactant. Okay, and this equation is also called as differential rate equation.